Hi, my name is Marisa, and I'm honored to be your guide for today's yoga session. Let's create some space where we can just breathe on our mats, stretch deeply, and take some time to relax. Let's get started in wide child's pose, coming to tabletop, separating the knees wide, connecting the toes together, sitting back into your hips, and stretch your arms in front of you, resting your forehead on the mat. And let's begin by just noticing the breath. Noticing your heart rate. And as you deepen your breath, we'll allow the low belly to expand on the inhale. And then exhale out of your mouth, HA. Inhale to expand the belly. And exhale through the mouth. Continuing to do this as many times as it takes to slow down your nervous system and encourage the body to melt into the mat. Noticing if any part of your body is resisting or tensing up, and just softening those muscles. Rocking your forehead slowly side to side. Let's commit to being present. And when our monkey mind drifts off to other places that isn't here, we'll gently bring our focus back to our breath. Stretching towards the left side of your mat, place the right hand on top of the left hand, opening up the side rib cage. I encourage you to step into Ujjayi breathing if you know how to do that. Keeping the mouth closed on the inhale and exhale, creating some fire in your breath. And walk your hands over to the right side of the mat, left palm on top of the right hand. Opening up the left side body. And after your next breath, come towards the center again. Bend at the elbows, connect the palms together, and raise them to gently rest behind your neck for a prayer pose. Possibly setting an intention here, something that you resonate with. And slowly rise to tabletop position. Coming into some cat and cows, working with our alignment, looking up on the inhale and rounding the spine on the exhale. Not worrying about following me or looking at me unless you need a reference, but just getting lost in your own breath and body and movement, enjoying the sensations that arise, and always following your own breath. And find a neutral spine for one moment, creating an energy line through the crown of the head, all the way through past the tailbone. From here, we'll support ourselves with the left hand. Extend the right arm high, take a twist, and allow your drishti to follow that high hand. Inhale here, and exhale to dive the right arm underneath the left for thread the needle. Pressing away with the left hand. And if you know this pose, you can just close your eyes and enjoy the sensations. And unwinding, re-extending the right arm for just a moment. And then coming to the other side, placing the right hand in the center of your mat, extending the left arm high, taking a couple of breaths here in this initial twist. And exhale to thread the needle. Inhale to re-extend the left arm high. And exhale to come back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high to downward facing dog. Just taking some time to explore some movement. Maybe lifting the heels or walking out the feet. Bending one knee and then the other. Really anything goes here. Just find yourself creating movement, exploring your body, exploring different ways, different shapes to move. And then once you feel comfortable to release into the full position of downward facing dog, really pulling up through your navel towards the spine, tilting that tailbone high, micro bending the knees, encouraging the heels towards the mat, and just releasing the head and neck.
always keeping the spine long. And extending the right heel high, spending one breath, keeping the hips aligned. And then on the next, open up the hips and extend that right toe as high as you can. Opening up the hips, bending at the knee, and releasing your right heel behind you. I invite you to take some knee circles if that feels good. Just continuing to stay in a space of exploration here. Never becoming stagnant or stiff or tense. And do what feels good in your body. And tuck the right knee in towards your chest, placing that foot in between the hands. Release the left knee and come into your low lunge. Pulling the right hip crease back. Straighten the front leg, lengthen through the spine, and fold over. And we'll flow between these two movements, coming forward on the inhale, and straightening that front leg on the exhale to fold. And rock forward, taking a revolved low lunge. Support yourself with your left hand and extend the right arm high, keeping the back knee on the mat. Twisting from the belly. And if you'd like to take it a step further, I invite you to bend the back knee and reach for that foot for an intense stretch. Carefully releasing the back knee, windmill the arm to the outer edge of that foot. And we'll tuck the back toes and lift the back knee for runner's lunge. And from here, we'll pivot the back foot, windmill the arms open to warrior two, keeping the front knee just above the heel. And keeping the front knee bent, we'll reverse the warrior by sliding that left hand down the left leg and extending and opening up the heart space and the side body.
And windmill the arms down. We're moving into triangle pose, so you can straighten that front knee and just slide the left hand either on the shin or in a straight line with your upper hand. You may want to use a block for this. Exhale to release that high hand, closing the hips, fold over to pyramid pose.
Just deepening this stretch by melting maybe a little further. Relaxing into each stretch. Moving into revolved triangle pose, you may want to use a block for this. And if you do, you can just place that beside your foot again. And then we'll extend the right arm high, allowing the gaze to follow, twisting from the belly. And if this feels challenging for you, I invite you to stay here. Otherwise, you can test your balance with me, either with or without the block, by placing the block in front of you if you do use it, or your hand on the floor, and lifting that left heel high for a revolved half moon pose. And release that left foot, hang over heavy in ragdoll, and just shake everything out. Releasing any tension that potentially built up just now. And enjoying the sensations. You can fold your arms. Or just leave them hanging, whatever feels right. And place your hands on the mat, step back into your plank position, holding here for a couple of breaths. And moving through Chaturanga Dandasana by lowering your body, inhaling to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, and exhaling to Downward Facing Dog. We'll repeat everything we just did on the other side. So when you're ready, shoot the left heel high, keeping the hips closed at first. And then opening up the hips, pointing the toes and extending that leg as high as you can. Bending at the knee, allowing the heel to fall back. Maybe you take some knee circles if that feels good. bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Place the foot in between the hands, releasing the right knee and settling into your low lunge. Pulling the left hip crease back, sit back into your hips, lengthening through the spine and the leg, and fold over, nose towards the knee. And then just flowing between these two movements in your own timing. And rocking forward into your low lunge again. Let's revolve the low lunge by extending the left arm high, twisting from the belly button. And I encourage you again to stay here if this feels good for you. Otherwise, you can bend at the back knee, lift those toes, and reach for the foot for a deeper stretch. Carefully release the back foot, coming back into your low lunge. Tuck the back toes and rise to your runner's lunge. We'll windmill the arms open to warrior two, pivoting the back heel. Inhale to reach forward and exhale to reverse your warrior. Lengthen your front leg and move into your triangle pose. Again, using the block if you choose to do so, or just placing your left hand either just in front of that shin or possibly fingertips on the shin. Rising to close the hips and then lengthen the spine to fold over into your pyramid pose. Revolve your triangle by supporting with the right fingertips or with a block beside your foot, and extend the left arm high. Option to stay here or come into your revolved half moon pose, either with or without a block, by lifting the right heel high and trying to maintain somewhat of that twist as much as possible. And release into your forward fold. And let's deepen this if you like to do so by lifting the feet and placing the palms underneath, just keeping the knees bent and then pulling your chest in towards your thighs. And if your hands are underneath your feet, go ahead and release them and step into a Chaturanga Dandasana flow. Exhaling to lower down. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale to tuck the toes, lift the hips high to downward facing dog. Shooting the right heel high once again. Bending at the knee, will come into Wild Thing. So go ahead and allow that right leg to fall behind you and extend the left leg longer as you open up the right side body. Supporting yourself with both of your hands, return the right leg high, and then bringing in that right knee towards your chest. We'll lay the shin either parallel or diagonal to the top of your mat for our pigeon pose. Find your center, and we'll just fold over if your body allows you to. Otherwise, you are always welcome to stay here. Maybe you're even lifted. Totally fine. If you feel like this is super challenging for you, maybe you place a pillow or bolster underneath your hips here to help. And we'll rise and find our extended three-legged downward facing dog, releasing that right foot to the mat, and then extending your left leg high. Bend at the knee to allow the heel to fall towards your hips. And then if you'd like to join me in Wild Thing, carefully releasing those toes and extending the right leg, pressing up through the hips and opening up that heart space. And support yourself with the left hand. Re-extend the left leg, bringing the knee in towards the chest. Find your pigeon or sleeping swan. And rising to support yourself, tuck the right toes and extend the left leg all the way through and up. And then now we'll step the left foot on the outer edge of the top of your mat, and then the right foot on the right outer edge, coming into Malasana or low squat, taking your elbows and just encouraging this stretch here. Hands can come to prayer, just keeping the spine long. And if this feels challenging for you, I invite you to stay here. Another option is coming into frog pose for an even deeper hip stretch. If you'd like to join me there, go ahead and back up just a little bit on the mat, and we'll extend the knees out, keeping the shins parallel with each other, and then just coming down as far as you feel comfortable, maybe with a bolster or without, whatever you prefer. And then coming down to the forearms. Just noticing if you're finding any resistance here, locating those muscles of resistance and just softening them, melting a little bit deeper into the mat, and using this pose as an opportunity to come back to your breath if you lost connection to it. And slowly and carefully pressing up into your tabletop position. We'll sit the hips down and swing the legs in front of us. Coming into a supine position. Moving into bridge pose. Let's bring the heels in closer to the hips. And we'll just slowly lift, initiating at the tailbone and working up through the spine. And as you lift, you can bring the shoulder blades together, possibly intertwining your fingers, and then just continuing to press up through the hips. Thinking of an internal rotation with your thighs. And then slowly rolling down through the spine, tailbone is last. And taking a breath. And next you'll have an option to either do bridge pose again for a second time, or if wheel pose is in your practice, you can join me with that. If you've never done wheel pose before, I advise you to be careful if you do attempt it. All right. So whichever pose you've chosen, go ahead and either lift up to bridge pose or take your fingertips towards your shoulders, heels as close as possible to the hips, and then you'll slowly lift up into your wheel pose if you're choosing this position. If for some reason you need to quickly come out of this pose, please carefully release neck first and then roll down through the spine gently. So just tucking the chin into your chest is the very first thing you would do as you come down. Two more breaths here. And then those in wheel pose, tuck the chin into the chest and gently release the neck, rolling down through the spine. Beautiful job. As we're moving into the end of our practice, we'll come into an inversion pose, which is super important after doing something as intense as wheel pose. And so what we'll do is support our lower backs with our hands. So you can rock up, supporting the lower back with the hands, and then allow the legs to just fall wherever they do. You can keep them straight, or you can even bend the knees at the ears if that feels comfortable to you. Exhale to release out of your plow pose, extending the legs as wide as the mat and coming into Shavasana. Either choosing to allow the palms of the hands to face towards the sky, or you can take one hand to the belly and one to the heart, whatever feels relaxing and connective for you. And we're just tuning our awareness of our bodies, of our breath. Awareness of any thoughts that are passing through that might be distracting, and just allowing them to continue passing through and bringing our minds back to the present moment, back to our breath, learning to control our mind. I invite you to take a body scan if that feels good to you, to initiate even deeper relaxation in every area of your body. And setting an intention to stay in this beautiful open heart space throughout the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always so honored to be your guide. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would encourage you to do so if you benefited from this session. And I just encourage you to go out into your day today, taking along this positive energy, hopefully a more relaxed state of mind and a peaceful state of heart. God bless.